So again, I want to go back to your training days. So as you tagged along with your sister and joined the classes after being inspired by her. So did you notice your gurus, and you have learned from some really great gurus? Did you notice any difference in their approach when they taught you Natyam, technically or otherwise, as a male dancer?
Each person, I feel, has their own wonderful qualities. So, see, when the beginning stages of any artist, the beginning years, especially for a Natyam person, the adavus that you get into when you start learning, that could be really tiresome. And if you don't have that sustainability and the passion for it, I think in the first year itself, a lot of students, the wickets fall off because of that. Because it's too hard for that. So I was very fortunate that I had both Bhaskar Menon and Radha Bhaskar as my first gurus, and Kalamandalam Maithili. Because see, here there were two human beings who were, I mean, I always say they're a bundle of joy. They're always happy. There's nothing that makes them feel sad about. And then I had this fortune. My cousin, basically at that time when I was in school, she was a very popular South Indian film actress. So Vidubala, and she was acting in Malayalam films. And of course, her father and my uncle, my father's elder brother, Professor K. Bhagyanath, he was a renowned magician who has really earned a big name all over the world. So we used to go for vacations to Chennai. And when we went there, Vidu Chechi used to be learning from, my other teacher, Kalamandalam Maithili, we call her Maithili Chechi because she's more like a elder sister to me. So Vidu Chechi used to be learning both Bharatanatyam and Mohiniyattam from Maithili Chechi. So she would then, and again, Maithili Chechi was somebody who just wanted to go on giving, giving, giving. I mean, it's not that, like many times you find teachers who say, okay, you have 1 hour, I'll try and teach you something today, and then it goes on. But Maithili Chechi never looked at the clock, never looked at what she was giving us. She kept giving us, till we get tired and say, Maithili Chechi, enough. Today, now, we cannot be taking anything more. So, three wonderful gurus to begin with to get you passionate about the form. And till my arrogatum, they were the people who were guiding me, molding me, both my sister and I. And, I always tell my sister that you always took up marriage as an excuse to leave dancing because my sister loved reading and all that. And dance, she was doing it because she liked it. But at some particular point, she said, okay, now I think I will not continue. But I didn't want to stop. So, in fact, one of the gurus, it's my mistake. I'm sorry if I have not mentioned it there. When I went to Baroda, because after 80, I went to Baroda to do my college. And I had the fortune to also train for a very short time under Rama Shrikant, who's basically Chandrasekhar sir's student. And she's done her master's from MS University, Baroda. And she happens to be the younger sister of Radha Bhaskar. So automatically, when I went to Baroda, I approached her and I said, can I at least continue learning from you? And she, again, the same kind of wonderful person with so much of love and affection for the art. And of course, being a student of Professor C.V. Chandrasekhar, who's kind of an icon in this field. So she has lived dance throughout her life. And of course, like again said, it comes from a family of dancers. So she supported me. And whenever I could find time, and normally you would imagine that your teachers get irritated if you don't go regularly for class. But all of them knew that, even Ramachechi knew that I was stuck with this college, and there's being a fine art student is not a 4-hour job or something. It's a 24-hour job because we have lots to do in college, even during college and after college. So she supported me. And after I came back and I had finished my studies, and my father at that time had retired from Indian Express in Ahmedabad, and he had joined Kartikeya Sarabhai at that time it was called Nehru Foundation for Development, NFD. Later, it has now become the Center of Environment Education, CE. So my father was one of the few people at that time in Nehru Foundation, and they used to be doing a lot of work as far as environment and everything is concerned. And my luck was when I came back to Ahmedabad, they were doing the Bandipur Tiger project, and they wanted freelance designers. So Kartik Bhai told my father that since Bijoy has come back to Ahmedabad, would you ask him if he would like to join us? So that's how my first, getting into the Sarabhai family, where I went and joined Nehru Foundation. And I was working as a freelance artist there under very wonderful senior designers from NID. And then one day, I think maybe 2, 3 months time, when I went to office, Kartik Bhai called me and I said, Bijoy, you have to go to Darpana. And from today, you'll be working at Darpana. So I said, what happened? I mean, are you angry with me? You don't want me here? He said, no, no. Malika Ben came to know that you've come back to Ahmedabad and you're a dancer and you're working with me. So she said that this is a waste of the time. Bijoy should be in Darpana because he's a dancer and he should be here and dancing with us. So I was thrilled because that's something that I had in me. So I went to Darpana and Malika Didi met me, and of course I was asked to dance and show what I have learned and all that. And then began my journey with Darpana. And Darpana was a milestone for me because if today whatever that I am doing, not only as a dancer but also as an academician, as an administrator, all these qualities I have really learned after joining Darpana. To be there at that peak time, at that golden moments of the time when Mrinalini Sarabhai Amma was choreographing and working, and to be part of those productions, to have wonderful gurus like Patagudi Ramaswamy sir, who was an excellent natwanar and a vocalist. We used to tell Ramaswamy sir that when you sing, the audience is looking at you, they're not looking at us. So please sing a little badly so that people look at us. Because he was a wonderful singer. And then, of course, if he was singing for Amma or Malika Ben, he was very different. So we used to say, sir, you're very partial to them because you sing beautifully for them. And when we do some solos or group productions where they are not part of that time your voice is very different. But and there were wonderful musicians like Purushothaman sir, who was teaching music there. We had Ganeshan sir and Balu sir and Gurumurthy sir and all of them. There was a very strong music component there. There was a very strong Bharatanatyam component there. And of course, a wonderful guru like Guru Shri C.R. Achirlu, who was a Kuchipudi guru there. And Guruji used to come even to Bhaskar Bhai and Radha Ben, teach them. So while I was in Mudra, I was already learning a little from Guruji. And then when I went to Darpana, he was there and he was a walking encyclopedia. You ask him any shlokam and he would just come out with that. So those years were wonderful. We got to learn a lot from Amma and Malika Ben and Ramaswamy sir and Maheshwari Ben, who was there, and Radha Ramchandra Menon, who again had come from Baroda. She was also a student of Chandrasekhar sir. And so not only as a dancer, but then Malika Ben realized, okay, he's good in designing. So let me get into Darpana's designing section also. So I used to spend almost the whole day and practically till late night at Darpana, either dancing or doing some administrative work or doing some designing. And I loved it. So, of course, there is always a point of time in life when you want to move on and you want to try and now experiment on what you picked up. So when a lot of things happened at the same time, I got married, I left Darpana, and I started my own business. So three things happened at the same time, and it was a good beginning. And they were very supportive. They were happy, and of course, I used to go and meet them even after that. And then till the last days of Amma, I always had an opportunity to wish her. And one thing I never would miss was to go to Darpana to wish Amma on her birthday, which was falling on the 11th of May. And I used to kind of cheat a little on that because Malika Ben's birthday was on the 9th of May. So I used to go on the 11th and wish both of them together at that time. Oh. But, all these gurus, all these people, mentors, they have in some way or the other contributed to me. And then, of course, there are people, mentors who I always, in my office, I have their pictures about me. And I always, the first thing I do when I go to college after doing my prayer at the mandir that we have is to touch that picture and then start my day. And there are three other people in that picture. One is Chandrasekhar sir, because Chandrasekhar sir is very close to my heart. I've never been, maybe I would say, uh, a minute of a second I got to learn from him in Baroda when I was there, and my sister and I had gone to learn a little from both auntie and him. But Chandrasekhar sir has been a great support to me. And being a male dancer, he understood what it was. He came for my first performance after joining Darpana. And when he came to see I'd done a full Margam. And I insisted that I wanted him as the chief guest. And he drove down from Baroda. And he was very happy. And he told Amma, please send him to me for some time so that I can, add on to whatever he's learning. So I did, of course, a week only I was able to go to him because after that I got busy with Darpana. But Chandrasekhar sir is a great mentor and I look up to everything that he's done and he's always supported me. And yet another figure who has been with me and who has held my hand at many moments is Kumudini Lakiaji, because she's also based in Ahmedabad. And at every moment, whenever I had any problem and if I wanted to go and meet and get some advice, I would go to her and she would be very, very supportive. I remember one moment, I'm not even a student of Kadam, but once I didn't have space and I was working on my first production. And I didn't know where I could have the rehearsal because I had about 20 dancers at that time, this whole music panel of the folk and the classical, which itself bringing together was a big issue. And so I went to Kumiven. I said, Kumiven, I want to do a photo shoot and a rehearsal, and I don't have place. Is it okay if I could use the first floor that you have? Because they have a beautiful hall on top, which now they have even converted and done a good job in that. There's a beautiful space there and so much of positive vibes. And Kumiben didn't even take a second. She said, yeah, of course, why not? So she told Parulven, who's been her personal secretary for so many years. I mean, she's kind of the right hand of Kumiben and Kadam. So she told Parulven, give him that second set of keys. He will come, he'll open the door and he'll use the space and then he'll leave that key at your place. I was shocked, I said, you're giving the keys of that property where he's not even saying, Parulben, you be present there and you be there so that when the rehearsal happens and then they go and all that. Nothing like that. So she has always supported me until date. She has always, and many times I feel so humbled because lately she's 91 now. And for the past couple of years, whenever I've had shows, I would go to her and say, Kumiven, I'm doing this event. I would like you to come. She'll say, I come. And you won't believe it. There were two instances when one, she came with a drip. She had just been to the doctor. And with that thing attached to her, she came there because she told her daughter, Juju, no, Bijoy has called me. I should go because he always wants me there and all these things. So for that, she came like that. And another event that we had where we were felicitating her, I celebrated her entering the 90th birthday in a big way. We had the governor and all that. And she came for that. And I was told the next day she was hospitalized because it was too much of a strain for her. But she's a strong person. And I think we look at that because she comes out of everything in a very strong way. So Kumiben has been a great support. And one last person I would mention here is Krishnaveni Lakshmanan, Krishnaveni ji, because her daughter was in Ahmedabad and I had the fortune to meet her. And I was like Ekalavya because I was standing far away and watching her, never been a student, but I loved her for work and the way she used to work. And so I called her for a workshop and we had a wonderful time learning from her.
Thank you. उचित पदयुगळ हरि जय विजयी भवनंद कुमार प्रभजन परमानंद किशोर प्रकळीय नटनानंद गंभीर करुणा रसयुध भाव शरीर मद मधुकर मधुपदरण समनयन कमलदळ जलमुनि हृदय किशोर दया